In today's video, we are going to cover a complete ActiveCampaign tutorial for beginners in 2024. We're going to talk about what ActiveCampaign is, why you might want to use it, and then we're going to do a complete walkthrough A to Z of how to use the platform for beginners. So stick around to the end of the video because you're not going to want to miss all the information we have for you on how to use and get started with ActiveCampaign. Okay, so let's talk about what ActiveCampaign is. ActiveCampaign is a software that offers email marketing, sales automation, and CRM functionality. Now, a lot of people use ActiveCampaign for two main reasons. The first is that they're at the top of their industry for having their emails delivered to the inbox of the intended recipient. This just means that your emails are more likely to be delivered to the people that you want to get them instead of ending up in the spam, junk, or some other inbox. The second reason why people use ActiveCampaign over other email marketing platforms is their very powerful email automation feature, which we're going to show you a little bit later on in the video. Okay, so now that you know what ActiveCampaign is and why you might want to use it, let's get into showing you the most important features of the platform. We actually have a special offer just for the people watching this video and our subscribers that we will leave linked down below to ActiveCampaign. Now, this special offer is not only going to get you a 14-day free trial with no credit card required, but it's also going to get you 15% off an annual plan if you choose to continue with ActiveCampaign after your 14-day free trial. This is a really great deal and you're going to want to take advantage of it if you do choose to continue with ActiveCampaign. Go ahead and click on that link down below and we can join up here and walk through the process of setting up your account. Once you've clicked our link down below for our special offer, you'll see StartupWise subscribers save 15%. And you'll also see no credit card required for the first 14 days. So this is really at no risk to you to try out. To get started, let's go ahead and enter our email address here. Once you've entered your email, go ahead and click start your free trial. Now it brings you to this page here and you're going to want to enter your name as well as your phone number. And once you've done that, go ahead and click next step here. After you've done that, ActiveCampaign just wants to know a little bit more about you and your business in order to customize the platform for your specific needs. The first question is, how many contacts do you have? Let's just say for the sake of this video, if we're just starting out, it's going to be under 500 contacts. Next, it asks how many employees we have. Let's just say 1. And then you can go ahead and select the industry or business you're in. After you've selected the business or industry you're in, it's going to give you the option here to choose your current email service provider. You can go ahead and choose from these options here, or you can just click next step to skip. Next, it's going to ask you to verify your email address. So let's just go ahead and get the code from our email. And once we've done that, go ahead and click verify. Next, let's just go ahead and choose a password here. And once you're finished with that, go ahead and click take me to my account. After you've clicked that, ActiveCampaign is going to set up your account and it should take just a moment here. The last thing they want you to do before showing you the ActiveCampaign dashboard is to just answer a couple questions before you start your trial. If you don't want to do that, just go ahead and click skip. Okay, now that we're here, we are on the ActiveCampaign dashboard. Now it's going to have a get started page here that will walk you through a couple of the first steps, but let's just do a couple things before that. So let's just check out the sidebar here. You can see contacts, campaigns, automations, deals, websites, reports, unlock features. And you'll see we have 13 days left on our free trial. Okay, so we'll go through all these tabs here in a minute, but let's go ahead and head down to settings to start. Once you're in settings, go ahead and go to advanced. Okay, so in order to send emails from ActiveCampaign, you need to have an email here. Now it doesn't need to be attached to a website, but it really is preferred that you do attach it to a website. We have a bunch of other videos on the channel that will help you set up a website. We won't go into detail about that now, but if you don't have a website, just use your personal email for this. Okay, so in order to send out your first email, you have to set up your domain with ActiveCampaign. Now, if you don't have a domain yet, we have a bunch of different videos on the channel that will help you set that up, but we won't go into too much detail about it now. We'll leave all those linked down below in the description, so be sure to check those out. And go ahead and watch one of those if you don't have a domain. We're going to assume that you already have a domain, so let's go ahead and configure our domain here. So once you've entered your domain, you can go ahead and click continue. Now it's going to walk us through the process of connecting our domain with ActiveCampaign. So let's go ahead and click continue. And you'll see that I use Hostinger for my website. So it's going to pop up Hostinger's platform here, and I'll just go ahead and enter my account information. Okay, so now that I've done that, it's configured my website and set it up with ActiveCampaign. So let's click done there, and you'll see that my website is verified and everything is all good. Okay, so let's click save settings up here in the top right-hand corner. The next thing we want to do is go down to addresses here on the left-hand corner. Now we don't have any addresses set currently, and in order to send an email with ActiveCampaign, it's required to have a business address because it's going to appear at the bottom of every email. So let's just go ahead and add an address here now. Okay, so now that I've added my address here, we're all good. So let's go ahead and do one more thing before we go into the rest of the video. If you go under appearance and scroll all the way to the bottom here, you can turn off ActiveCampaign's branding. So basically this is white labeling your emails, which just means that it's going to appear as if it's your own product and not ActiveCampaign's. So once you've disabled their branding, you still want to make sure that you have in-app chat selected if that pops up for you. So once you're finished with that, go ahead and click Save Settings. Okay, so now that we're all finished with that, go ahead and click the ActiveCampaign logo here to bring us back to the homepage. So the first thing that we're going to look at here is contacts. Let's go ahead and click on contacts. So you'll see that my email is the only one here. That's the one I used to get started with the ActiveCampaign account. So ActiveCampaign actually helps you migrate contacts from another email service. So if you want to request help doing that, you can click Request a Migration here. That's if you have a lot of contacts and it's really complicated, but we can easily do that within the app by ourselves as well. So if we're going to import some contacts from another app or an Excel doc, let's go ahead and click Import up in the top right-hand corner here. Now, what's really cool is if you have everything in a CSV file, you can go ahead and import that here. And like we said, you can also use one of these different services to help automatically transfer your contacts. Let's go ahead and show you how to import a file if you have an Excel doc. So let's click Import File, and we're going to go over here and select our file. And just one thing, you want to make sure that this is a CSV file. It's not going to take any other file than that. Okay, so once I've selected my file here, it's going to give me the option here to match up the columns in my file with the ones that they have for us. Okay, so these are the values on the right-hand side that were in my document, and then I'm going to match them up with the field names that ActiveCampaign has for us. Okay, so the field name I want to select here for name, I can just go here to first name, and then it automatically synced up the email address. That was right. And then for my birthday here, it put subscribed date. Now we can go ahead and add a new field. That's actually my birthday, and not that that's super applicable. Maybe you want to send out an email to your customer when it's their birthday, but if not, you can just skip this column too. I'll go ahead and add it here and put birthday. Okay, so now that I have that saved, I only have one list right now. It's the master list. I'm going to head and add it there. Now, what's really cool about ActiveCampaign, and it gives you the option to add tags. So I really think the best way to go about this is to have one big master list and then have a bunch of different tags for the people underneath that. And I'll show you why that's important a little later on in the video when we get to the automation section. So for adding tags, this can be something like newsletter or just the different segments of your business. So depending on what funnel they came in, you're going to want to tag them accordingly, right? So you can have newsletter, you can have consulting, a bunch of different arms so that they're getting different emails. So I'm just going to go ahead and put newsletter for this one. And then there's a couple different import options here. You can import as an active contact, as an unsubscribed contact, and you can import as excluded email address, but let's just go ahead and leave it active for now. Also, one thing before we go any further, there's this chat bot in the bottom right-hand corner that's super helpful if you have any problems when you're in ActiveCampaign. So just go ahead and shoot that a question if you need to. Okay, now that we've done that and everything looks good, let's go ahead and click import. Okay, so the import is complete and we'll see if it worked here in a second. Let's go back to manage contacts here. Okay, great. It worked. So I have two contacts now. Both of them are my two different emails, but that looks good. So another way you can add a contact is manually. Let's go ahead and go to the top right-hand corner and add a contact, and we'll show you how to do this manually. So let's go ahead and put all this information in here, and then you can click add. Now, if this is an internal member, you can also add tasks. So you can add them to a list. Right now, we just have that master list. You can add them to a deal. We don't have this set up right now. This is a CRM function that we'll show you a little bit later on. You can also add them to a tag. And like I said, this is a really great way to segment your master list into a smaller niche category. Okay, so I'll just put newsletter for this one as well. And if you see when I type in newsletter, it automatically auto-populates newsletter. So we'll go ahead and click that. Once we're finished with that, we can go ahead and click apply. Okay, so now we have 3 contacts. All of them are me and my different emails, but that looks good for now. So now you know how to import contacts, whether it's through an Excel doc, through a merging platform that they can help you out with, or you can do yourself by connecting with those. And you can also import them manually like we just showed you. Okay, so now that we've done that, we've gone back to the home page here by just pressing that home button. Let's go down and go to website. Now you'll see forms and pages here. We'll show you exactly how to set these up in a second. Okay, so let's hop into forms here and build our first form. So let's go ahead and create new form, and we'll give this a name. We'll just say it's our newsletter. And there's a couple different form styles. You can choose incline, floating bar, floating box, or modal. Let's just go ahead and choose incline form, and we're going to subscribe them to our master list. That looks good. So let's go ahead and create. Okay, so here is our form, right? right? We have our full name and our email for our newsletter. Now this is going to be plenty fine for me. You can go ahead and do a bunch of different customization here with headers, style, and options, but for now, this is going to be enough, especially just starting out. One thing we should cover briefly here is the options in the top right-hand corner. So you want to know what's going to happen on the submittal of this form. Now you can either have this show a thank you, or it can open a URL. For now, we'll just have it show a thank you, but in a few minutes here, if you wanted to attach that to the next page of your funnel, you can do that as well. Okay, so just clicking back on these two, we can require or not require whether these items are submitted. So for the full name, we can say that we want to require that as well as the email. Now, like I said, you can add phone numbers and HTML code here. There's a bunch of other customization options, but just for beginners, this is going to be plenty fine to capturing emails for something like a newsletter. Okay, so now that we've created our form, we're going to want to integrate this with our WordPress account. But before we do that, let's go back to previous here and then go to settings and set up our WordPress account. So once you're in settings, you want to go to developer, and then this is all the information that you're going to want to put on your WordPress account. So let's go ahead and log in with WordPress. Okay, so now that you've connected your WordPress with your ActiveCampaign, let's go back to this form here. Okay, so now that we have all that set up, we're going to want to press integrate here. Okay, so we're going to need to integrate our WordPress with ActiveCampaign. So let's go ahead and click save and exit, and we're going to go back to settings to set that up now. Okay, now that we've done our form, let's go ahead and go to pages. Now the form is going to be on this landing page. So let's go ahead and choose from one of these templates. They have a lot of really great options here. Let's just go ahead and choose the demo one. And we're going to name this newsletter and click save. Okay, so this is what our landing page looks like. We're not going to change too much right now. You can go ahead and change the text and change the style if you like, but for the sake of this video for beginners, let's just go ahead and start easy. So go ahead and change the name of their logo to your branding, and then we're going to go ahead and add our form in here. Okay, so to add our form, we're going to need to select inline form here. We're going to bring that over and drop it right here, and we're going to select use existing form. Now you can see our newsletter form pops up here, so let's just go ahead and select that and then add form. And boom, right there, subscribe for email updates just pops into this landing page, which is awesome. And we'll go ahead and delete add form, and then this looks pretty good right now. Now if we go ahead and delete this, we can do this again, and we can also build a new form here. So let's just call this newsletter 2, and you can make an action here. So you can have them subscribe to a list. We only have one list, the master contact list. So let's click that, and then we can start building this form. Okay, so that's how to do it if you're going to add a new form as well as using an existing form. So now we can go ahead and go back to pages here, and we'll see that our newsletter page is published. So let's go ahead and click on this domain here, and it'll pop up, and there's our domain to our new newsletter landing page. Now I wanted to show you how to put a URL instead of a thank you. So let's go ahead and go back to forms, and I'll show you how to do that quickly. So when you're in forms, let's go ahead and go to our newsletter form here again and go up to options on the right-hand side. So instead of showing a thank you, let's open a new URL. So let's type in our website here, and let's see if that pops up after we submit our email. So let's go ahead and click integrate and then save and exit. Okay, so let's go back to pages to see if this works and opens up our new page instead of the thank you. So let's go ahead and just click on this button here under our published page. And then we'll go ahead and type in our information and click submit, and it should open up my website. There we go, instead of the thank you page. So that might be helpful to redirect them to your website or some other page instead of just a thank you page. Okay, so now that we know how to build forms and pages, let's move on to the next part of the video. Now we're going to create a campaign finally. Okay, so let's go back to home, campaigns here, and then create first campaign. Okay, so there's a couple different campaign types that ActiveCampaign has. Now, the first one is standard, just a regular email. The second one is split testing. It allows you to A/B test and choose which one's better, which is pretty neat. The next is automated. This is where you get to use ActiveCampaign's automation features. We're going to show you how to use that here in a second, and this is really what separates ActiveCampaign from its competitors. Then there's RSS triggered. It sends whenever your RSS-based feed is updated. There's an autoresponder and a date-based as well. So let's just go ahead and go with the standard now, and we'll name this newsletter. Once you're finished with that, go ahead and click next. And then we can go ahead and enter the information here. So this first thing is the subject line. This is the thing that's going to pop up in the email. You really want to make sure that this is captivating because it's the first thing that people will see in their inbox. So we can say something like best AI web builders in 2024. So the pre-header is the text that's going to follow that subject line. You can go ahead and make this the first sentence of your email or something more enticing if you like. I'll just say the best AI website builder is ... Okay, and now you can change the from name. So right here it just says my name, or you can choose the name of your business. So let's just change that now. And you can also change this email too. Now this email needs to be verified. So let's go ahead and send that verification email now. So it auto-populated the email that I signed up with the account for. So you actually don't have to use a domain. You can get around this by verifying that email once you're in this section. And if you see in settings, it pops up at verified now, and you'll see that it's my @Gmail and not my domain. So you can send emails from your personal email here too, as long as it's verified. Okay, so now we're going to select the list that we want to send from, and we only have one list. That's the master contact list. Now you can either schedule this email or send it right now. We can just go ahead and look at the schedule features. You can choose the delivery date and time. And there's a couple different tracking and automation features that you can select from here. Let's leave these two on for now. Okay, so once we finish with all that, let's go ahead and select save and exit. So now you'll see that our draft pops up here for our newsletter. Now you can also choose from some campaign templates. So let's go ahead and go to campaign templates here, and we can create our first template. So let's go ahead and choose email designer here and press continue. And you can choose from a bunch of these different campaign templates so you don't have to start from scratch. This is probably the best way to get started when you're starting out. So let's just go ahead and click the one that says weekly newsletter, and we'll select that one. Okay, so here you can go ahead and build out your own newsletter with your logo and some other information here as well. You can go ahead, play around with this and change the image, text, button, spacer, and everything else. You can really change this to your liking. Okay, so let's just go ahead and save and exit that. We just wanted to show you there. So also in the top right-hand corner here, you can go to settings, and before you send out this email, you can send a test email as well, just to make sure that it works. Another cool thing is the spam checker here. This will see if your email passed or didn't pass. If it didn't pass, there's a couple reasons. It could be too many images or words. You'll just have to look in to see what went wrong there. Okay, so you can just click save and exit there. Once you've clicked save and exit, it'll bring you back to this page here, and you'll see your template, and you can go ahead and edit it and change it at any time and then send it when you want to. Okay, the next thing that's really important to show you here is the automation tool. This is what sets ActiveCampaign apart from its competitors. It's really cool, very intuitive, and let's get right into it. So let's go down here to the automations tab on the left-hand part of the screen. Now let's just view the example that they've set up for us here in ActiveCampaign just to see what this automation tool looks like. So let's go ahead and click view. So the best way to think about this is the automation tool is going to give a specific action for each one of your specific subscribers. So for example, if somebody isn't replying to email after email, you're eventually going to want to remove them from your list because it's not going to be beneficial to have them there when they're not interacting with your campaign and opening your emails. Okay, so let's just go through this demo here to try to understand what's going on. Okay, so the top bar here says contact submits any form. So that is a form that we created earlier. Somebody is going through there, and that's the first step. So after that, we're going to send a welcome email. That's what you'll see here. And then we're going to give them a tag that is trial user. In this demo, they wait 1 day before they send another email. Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit here to see exactly what they did. Okay, so now you'll see after you've waited 1 day, there's a divergence here where there's a yes and a no to the following question. Does the contact match the following conditions? Has opened campaign welcome email. So if they did open the welcome email, they're going down this path on the left. And if they did not, they're going down this path on the right. So you can see how this can be super helpful in differentiating the different types of subscribers that you have to your newsletter. Some people are going to be responsive and some people are not, and you're going to want to treat those two different people separately. Okay, so for the people that did answer the welcome email, we put them on the sales lead. We added another tag to their profile. And then after we tagged them, we sent another email. This is called highly engaged trial. That's the email that we sent. And it looks like we also added them to the CRM tool. I'll show you that a little bit later here, but that's what this is. And then the other task on the CRM tool was to call them. We added them there. And then we also added them to a task called call on the CRM tool, and then the automation finishes there. Okay, so after we waited a day and they still didn't respond to that email, it's going to wait 1 more day and then send them another email. Okay, so let's go back to the tree here, and we're going down the no path now because they have not responded to the welcome email. So it waits another day and then it gives us another prompt here, and it says, did they go to our pricing page? Okay, so let's go down the no path here this time. So if they did not go to our pricing page, we're going to give them the marketing lead tag. So that's another tag that's categorizing this person separate from the other person that said yes and responded to the email. So next we'll send another email that says highly engaged trial, and then we will end the automation with a free training offer here. And on the yes side, if they did check out our pricing, then it's going to go to another action and it will bring it all the way up to the sales lead here. So you can see how this can be super helpful in differentiating the different type of subscribers that you have in your email list. Okay, so we're not going to build one of these out fully. I'll just show you some of the features here and how to set them up. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to automations here and then click create an automation. Okay, so you can either pick start from scratch here or go to one of these other templates. Let's go ahead and just choose one of these. Let's choose engage tagging and continue here. Okay, so you'll see that it's set up a little bit of a tree for us here, and we can go ahead and change that around. I'll show you just how to do that. So let's go ahead and add our trigger start. So our trigger start is going to be submitting the form that we had. Now you can choose the form here. You can say any of the forms, or you can choose the newsletter that we created. I'll just say the newsletter one. And let's go ahead, add to start here. Okay, now that it created that trigger here, you can also add another one here if you like. Okay, so we won't build out this entire automation. It's going to take a long time, but we'll just show you some of the features that you saw in the demo. So let's click plus here, and then let's kind of look through these different actions. So there's a couple different options. There's sending options, condition and workflow, contact, CRM, Salesforce, and CX apps. Okay, so for the sending options, you're likely just going to be sending an email. You probably won't be using the other ones that much, but you can go ahead and use them if you like. Now, if you go down to conditions and workflow, this is another really important one that you saw in the demo. So in the demo, they didn't send email after email after email. They waited 1 day. So that's where you would put the time period in here for wait. Another really good one is this if else statement. So let's actually click on that one. We'll show you how to use it. Okay, so here you can select a condition. So let's just go ahead and say submitted form under actions here. And then we'll say that newsletter. And then we can click save here. And now you can see that this segment into a yes and no, just how you saw earlier in the demo. So what this is saying is basically the exact same thing that we had on the trigger, except it's creating a tree with a yes and no option. Okay, so I want to show you one more of the features that you saw in the demo before we go on to the next section. So let's just click on the no section here and add a plus. And under the conditions and workflow, you're going to want to select go to. Okay, so let's say under this no section here, you're going to send them to another action. Now, likely this isn't going to be the case for a no. If you keep getting no's, you'll either give them a final email or you'll do something like just remove them altogether. But let's say for the sake of this, that you will send them to another action. So to do that, you're just sending them to the start over here, and it's going to just send them through this funnel here. Okay, so play around with this. We won't go into too much more depth here. Those are the main functions that you're going to use inside this automation. Really build out something that works for you. Like we said, it's super intuitive. It's a really great tool, and this is really something that sets apart ActiveCampaign from its competitors. So you'll see up in the top right-hand corner here that this is inactive, and to switch it to active, all you have to do is press active there. Also, what's really neat here is the AI builder. You can go ahead and have this help build it out for you too. And also the chatbot is there. If you have any more questions, you can also reach out to them and they are more than happy to help out. Okay, let's go on to the last section of the video before we wrap up. And that is the deals section. This is the CRM inside of ActiveCampaign. So let's go ahead and click deals on the left-hand corner here. And you can see that it says welcome to deals CRM. So let's click create a pipeline. Okay, so we're just going to name this deals, and then we're going to use US currency. And then you can decide who to give access to here, whether it's all groups or admin. You can change all of this in somebody's contact. So you can give a certain contact access to the admin panel if you need to. Okay, so let's go ahead and click add here. Okay, now that you've created your pipeline, there's a couple different stages here that it auto-populated. You can add a stage if you like to as well, but they have to contact, in contact, and follow-up. So let's just go ahead and add a deal in here and we can see what it looks like. Okay, so here you can give the deal a title. We'll just say my name here. And then you can also change the pipeline. There's only one for deals that we created right now, but there's different stages and you can send them there. So let's go ahead and send it to the next one. You can also put a forecasted close date. You can put a description here, and then you can enter a contact here and an account. You'll have to add one of the two. So I'm just going to put Sam here and then add deal. Okay, and you'll see that it moved it over here and that I put 10K for this deal. Okay, so when you want to interact with this deal or this lead here, you can go ahead and click on it. And then if you want to add a task for an internal member, you can also click add a task here and you can assign it to a certain person within your ActiveCampaign platform. You can also send an email to the person up here in the top right-hand corner, and you can add other contacts here for people that contacted this person, and it'll show you the last person that contacted them. Okay, lastly, I'll briefly just touch on reports here. And lastly, I just want to show you the reports section here. Obviously, we don't have any campaigns that are active and have sent out emails, but once you do, it has a report section here and it'll show you all the information that you need to know about how many people opened it and how your email is performing. So do be sure to use this. It has a lot of good information that will give you insight on how to improve your emails. Okay, so that is all we have for you today for our beginner's guide to getting started with ActiveCampaign. Also, we created a free tool. If you're looking to start your first website and you don't know where to get started, go ahead and check that out in the description down below as well. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more content like this, please leave a like and subscribe down below. And lastly, this channel is dedicated to providing business owners and entrepreneurs like yourself with free videos and tutorials like this one. So thank you so much for watching. We wish you the best on your entrepreneurship journey, and we will see you in the next one.